Folks, I need to brainstorm with the three amigos, talk about my idea for buying Vegas, which is really an attempt to make buy and hold sexy. I know buy and hold real estate, buy and hold stocks, is not exciting. I know there's not a lot of action. But my hope is we can make the process of learning a market, meeting amazing individuals, doing the work sexy, right? I want to show the behind the scenes. I want to show the process of learning a market. The other thing that is very common, you've heard all three of us talk about, is the first 5 years suck, but the next 50 would be amazing. So again, I think there is something with buy and hold. We are all trying to make it look possible for you. But I want to talk about buying Vegas and get these guys to ask me questions and brainstorm because I am doing this. We are already scheduled recording next Monday, and I'm committed to doing at least 3 shows, which were going to cost me, some significant dollars, and we'll see where we go from there. So Dion, welcome, man. Buying Vegas. What's going on?
So at the One Rental at a Time 50,000 subscriber event, I use those 4 words to describe myself and my investing strategy. Right? Boring and not sexy. Yeah. So if you're looking at Vegas and you're saying, okay, I want to do buying Vegas and I want to make buy and hold sexy, I think the thing that's worked for me isn't selling that the work is sexy, that the first 5 years are sexy. It's that the outcome is.
Yeah.
And if there was a way to show, here's a property I've had for 7 years. Here's how it's performing today. Okay. Here's me purchasing this property in Vegas because 7 years is going to happen. In 7 years, I'll own this property, and here will be the outcome. Okay. I don't know if that would fit into the timeline of a show, but it's give away the secret, sell the how-to, right? The secret is when you buy and hold, it starts slow. It's super boring. But the freedom that it gives you, you don't have the massive cash infusion from a flip, but you have consistent cash every month that adds up over time.
And grows. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think there's something there. I think there's too many shows kind of highlighting quick money, get rich quick. It's easy. But if we really want to help people get wealthy, it's, do the work. The first 5 years suck. After that, the next 50 could be amazing. So let's go. So Matt, you were in Vegas. We were nice enough to have lunch together.
It's awesome.
We know some of the same people. Yeah, good pizza.
Yeah.
And what do you think of this crazy idea?
I like it. I'm excited to steal whatever you find is your area that then I can go live in. I'm interested to see if Vegas is very diverse.
Yeah.
So you have $250,000 homes all the way to $40 million homes.
Yeah.
You have neighborhoods that, depending on what corner you're on, there's a different color.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And meaning clothes and attire. And so I'm interested to see what actually works there, because I've only ever looked the biggest part of my strategy got blown up now that Vegas is enforcing Airbnb rules. So yeah. I think you're entering the market at the perfect time when if people only had Airbnbs, they're going to have to start getting out of them because, people are getting fines for 100 grand and 30 grand and 50 grand.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So now that those fines are coming, so I'm interested to see if you can buy in an area that, kind of like Fresno, right? There's bad parts of Fresno, but there's good parts of Fresno. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what that journey uncovers. If you can find a good part of Vegas that still cash flows.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of things. And really my intention with this buying Vegas is a couple of fold. One is I do want to make the process the show. Because to me, if we can highlight the process and the networking, right? You're going to meet a lot of characters in Vegas is my hope. Should we go past 3 shows? And I just want to show that, this is exactly what we did in Fresno 20 years ago.
Right.
I just don't have that content, right? I wasn't recording, right? Didn't know that was a thing. I have this course called How to Get Started One Rental at a Time, which you're a part of. I'm going to do exactly what's in there. So
Absolutely.
my intention in this is you're going to be able to copy what I do in Vegas anywhere else. To me, this isn't really a show about Vegas per se.
Mhm.
It's a show about Zuber once again learning a market, meeting people, seeing what's possible. It is my hope that people see that and go, wow, I could copy that in Miami or Dallas or Detroit or Memphis or Gary, Indiana, or wherever. I'm hoping that comes across.
Yeah.
So I think there's something that's going to be kind of hard to get into a show like this. And it's a concept that we can use to explain when anybody says, my parents bought a house in the 90s and they paid $60,000.
Mhm.
Well, I want to buy a house in the same area now and it's $500,000. Right?
Mhm.
How's that fair? But what they're looking at is in the 90s, the area that that house was in, the closest store was 20 minutes away. It was a mom and pop deli, right? There wasn't a Lowe's or Home Depot within a 2-hour drive. And now that town has grown to the point where it has all of those things, a movie theater, right? The bowling alley, the whatever attraction is there in that town. So an example is here in Washington. My brother purchased 5 acres in the 90s for $68,000 with 2 houses on it. Right now it's $600,000 house. But when we first moved to Washington, that town of Yelm had 6,000 people.
No.
One blinking red light at a stop sign. It had a Jayhawk superstore. There wasn't even actually a grocery store there. Now there's over 36,000. There's a Walmart. There's a Safeway. There's Home Depot bought a plot and then ended up not building. So there's all of those things. So now if you buy in that place, what is it going to be? If people look at a town like Vegas, when you're looking for your market to buy in, I think if you look at, here's the areas where everything is developed and the houses are $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, but here's the area a little bit further out where the property values are $200,000 to $300,000, and remote work is now allowing people to live further away from the work hubs. And in 5 to 10 years, those areas are also going to have the things that we buy and hold for. Right? We're not buying and holding, saying, okay, next year I'm going to have this amazing return on my property. It's 5 or 10 years from now, that property is going to be in an area that has grown, where the rents have gone up, where the property values have gone up. So we gain the appreciation from that expansion. And so when you're looking at Vegas, when you're explaining those markets, I don't think you're going to go, here's my property 3 blocks from the strip.
Yeah.
Right? Or
Yeah.
what is it? Somerset or wherever the
Summerlin.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be markets where people are going to want to hear how you came to the decision.
Yep.
This is the area I'm looking in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I want to walk people through. So I've already scheduled day one with a great real estate agent named Joe D, personal friend of the family, good friend of the channel, and he's been in Vegas forever. And we're going to go to his office and break down Vegas. And you're right, we're going to show all the areas. I'm sure we'll hit Summerlin. I'm sure we'll hit the Strip. But to your point, Dion, I want to go. Okay, great. What's an hour away, right? What's like? I have no idea. I've never looked there.
Dude,
right?
you go an hour outside of Vegas in any direction and you're in the mountains.
Yeah, well, maybe it's 30 minutes. I have
Yeah.
no idea where these other opportunities are, but I know there are freeways, right? 215, 515,
Yep.
whatever the other one is.
Yep.
So it's and again, the intention is I really see there are a couple of things. I want to show people that they can do it too. It takes work. There's no cutting the line. I also know that Vegas is going to give me the opportunity to learn, right? There's 2 strategies I've already lined up for episode 2 and episode 3 that I've never considered that I'm going to look forward to looking into. So for example, day
Zoom's got
2
a
is
house hack.
well, that'll be day 3. Day 2 is going to be with an agent named Lisa Sutton. She's been on the channel a couple of times. She's the one who shared the greatest one rental at a time story ever, where mom and dad bought a house and did one rental at a time to 60 million. That's their current net worth. So shout out mom and dad. But she talks about doing these condo hotels. I'm sorry, folks. Fresno, California has no condo hotels. But I'm going to go learn them. Why? Because A, I don't know them, and B, maybe that's the way to go, right? Vegas is unique. So take what's out there. Also, something she does,
cool.
because she's really tied in, is she's tied into builders.
Yeah.
And I don't know this, but I'm going to ask her, is anybody building tiny homes? Like, is there anybody planning a tiny home community? Because if there's a tiny home community like San Antonio at 660 square feet, dude, I might buy 5 of them.
Absolutely.
I might buy 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask those questions. Don't know if it exists, but that's kind of day 2. And again, I'm trying to, I want to bring other people, right? So Jody, day 1, Lisa, day 2. And then there's a guy, I think his name's Sean, who's been on my channel, who does these, I guess it's called house hacking, or it's really not really house hacking to me. It's more workforce housing. I don't know what to call it, but basically he told me a time he took a 4-bedroom home and given the layout, he made it 8 bedrooms. Right. And he's renting by the room. So there's a couple of things. I know there's cash flow in Vegas. Sean clearly shows me the way. But B, I have no idea if that's okay with me. I don't think Olivia and I are down for that, but I want to show what's possible. And again, hey, just because it's not okay for us doesn't mean it's not okay for you. So I know that Sean's going to be day 3. And then the last thing I really think is going to happen is I want to get deal flow.
Yeah.
So I want to, the more I talk about buying Vegas, the more people are out there. They can say, hey, I got a deal. And if you bring me a deal, guess what? And you want to, you could be in episode number 4. Right. I just want to show, again, by going out, using social media, telling people what you're doing. Like Millennial Mike recently got a couple of seller finance deals because of his channel. I just want to show what's possible. So I just rambled for a lot there. What do you guys think? Dion, you want to go first?
I think the challenge is going to be, when it comes to investing in Vegas, is do you remember when you started investing, how 2 things happened? 1, you always felt broke.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because you were broke. It was because every penny that came in that you didn't need for your life was put into the business.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, do you remember that when you were investing, real estate investing is very time consuming?
Sure.
Right? Real estate ownership with the right systems, it's not as passive as people would hope it is, but it's passive enough for the IRS to call it passive income. A couple hours a month to manage your property manager, a couple hours a month to manage my portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be the hard part, is if you're starting this venture and you're saying, okay, I'm gonna invest in Vegas, prepare to feel broke and prepare to feel like it's taking a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, this is what I want to show. I want to show the daily discipline. I want to show the work. And again, should this go the right direction, I don't know if we'll do a show every 6 months or what it'll be, just going, okay, this is what happened. Nothing. Watching paint dry. Or whoops, we had a plumbing call because, the tenant's kid flushed a Barbie doll down the drain or whatever. Right? I mean, there's a lot of kind of follow-up, but that's the point. That's why buy and hold's not sexy. Because it takes work and is slow, right? But that's why I want to focus on the process, because it is possible. All 3 of us and all the millionaires on the channel are proof it works. But I know I don't do a good job of trying to get people in the parking lot to see what's possible, because frankly, a lot of them piss me off. But again, there's a lot out there that probably would benefit from understanding that's possible, but enough of them are loud and drunk that they annoy me, and I ignore all of them, which is probably not a good idea.
Are you planning on self-managing?
That's an excellent question. I don't know.
Ask those.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I don't know. Absolutely. So first off, I know.
Lord.
Yeah, I do not know. Again, the other thing that's important is Olivia is going to be a part of this journey. She's going to be a part of it, just like she was in the beginning.
Of course.
And I have no idea if she wants to self-manage. No idea. Maybe she will. Maybe she won't. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know. Will we use him lane? Probably. Will we self-manage or go to the top tier? Don't know. But yeah, this is like Zuber day 1. This is my intention.
Well, with a little bit of a cushion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to go broke. That's for sure. Yeah. But
there's not quite that, frog in the throat, lump in the throat. Like, oh boy, this better work out. This better work out. This better work out. But
yeah,
still,
the 5 years sucking is not going to be.
Yeah. But you're doing all the other stuff, like considering whether or not you're going to self-manage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Giving out your phone number
Yeah.
to a tenant.
Yeah, maybe. I can have another phone though. But yeah, maybe.
I
Yeah,
can't wait.
yeah, it's again, I don't know why. I really don't know why this has such a pull. Like I have to do this.
Be-
it just, I don't know.
because
I don't get it.
because it's just like anything else, right? How many times did you bring a product to 100 million?
3 times.
Exactly. So I did it a bunch of times too, and we look at it and we go, I don't have rocks in my head. Like, because you get it to a certain point, you're like, okay, I can pass it off. It's smooth sailing for the next guy to walk in. He just basically has to operate. Just
Yeah.
operate. You don't have to be inventive. You don't have to be
Yep.
innovative. You just have to operate. If you're
Operate.
going to
Yep.
get to 1 billion or 2 billion on that product line, now you're going to have to innovate. But
Yep.
if you're just looking at 100 million to 200 million in run rate, 300 million in run rate,
Yep.
at that point, you're just operating. So you are starting out with a ground up product
Yep.
with your reputation currently intact, right? That's how I felt every single time I took over a product line.
Oh
I
yeah.
was just
I
like,
mean, after you do it the first time,
yeah, you get butterflies, the size of, pterodactyls in your stomach, and you're just like, am I going to be able to do this again? Like again? Because Mike, we talk about it because we've lived in our markets.
It's
but
hard.
you don't know anything about the Vegas market. You know nothing.
I know nothing. I know nothing. I know about high-end $1 million homes. That's all I've looked at thus far. And trust me, I'm not buying a high-end $1 million home as a rental. That's not
Mike.
happening.
I am honestly, I am thrilled. I cannot wait to see, because I'm hoping that there's a strategy there that works, because I'm sure there is. I just don't know what it is. I can tell you that I did not thoroughly enjoy the Airbnb that we stayed at. There were some questions. I heard some gunfire the last few nights. It was fine. If I were just there with the guys, it would have been no issue. Right. But with the kids, it was like, kind of peeking out my window, looking for any other, cars. So I literally said, I said to the sitter who went out with her boyfriend a couple of times while she was there, I said, every single time I see a slow car come up the driveway, I tell the kids to get in the back room. It might be a drive-by,
Dude, you could afford a nicer Airbnb. What the heck?
I didn't pick it.
Oh, this is Millennial Mike's Airbnb.
Mike picked it. But you know what the funny thing was? To me, when it was just us boys, when it was me and D and Mike and Hyder, and UE, when it was just us, it was like, and Justin, it was cool. We're cool.
Yeah, no big
it's
deal.
Good. Yeah. It's fine. It's whatever. But then when all the kids
me
there,
and Millennial Mike felt right at home. It was our people. So I don't know what you're talking about. But this time, Mike, you have 2 things that I hope the audience can learn from. And a lot of people say, if you've ever had a bunch and you lose it all and you start over, this time you're starting from experience. It's kind of like that, but there's 2 things that you have. One thing that we say often in real estate is treat your properties like you have 100 and your tenants like you only have 1, so that you'll put systems in place to make you want to have 100 and actually keep your tenants. You have that experience. You have over 100 properties. You know that the systems that it's going to take to make this to where you want to grow a portfolio, these are the systems you'll have to do. And the other thing, from doing now 1 rental at a time, the book, the channel, the course, all of that, to look at almost everything you do from the angle of, if I had to teach this to somebody, how would I do it?
Exactly.
And so the new investor, if you thought, okay, if I'm gonna make this investing strategy, but I had to teach it to somebody, I would understand it well enough to know if I could do it or not. And you have both of those going for you in this new market. So I don't think you're going to run into some of the challenges that a brand new investor would run into, because you're looking at it from, you have an audience. Right. Every aspect of every communication you have with a contractor or an agent or a lender is going to be, I have to explain this conversation to a group of people. And that is going, and I think if every investor looked at starting investing that way, they'd have a better run of it.
Yeah. The other thing that just hit me, this literally just hit me. I didn't know I was going here, but I think you guys both know Grant Cardone did that Billionaire Next Door or whatever that show was. Yeah. Undercover Billionaire. And, he successfully built a business in 90 days that I think was worth $5 million or whatever. So shout out to that accomplishment. That's kind of like what I'm trying to do here, although I'm not giving up my name and all of that. I'm trying to do a new market where, again, I don't know anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
I know $1 million homes. Olivia and I were lucky enough to shop for $1 million homes for 6 months, like 1 to 3 million bucks. I know that stuff,
Mhm.
but that stuff doesn't cash flow. It's not interesting to do
I don't
that.
think it does.
So no, it doesn't cash flow. Trust me. Uh, but but I know what to do. To your point, Dion, right? It's not like I got dumb or had this memory wipe or something like Men in Black. So I know how to do it. But to your point, that's where I'm uncomfortable and excited, right? I know what to do.
Mhm.
I know I can do it, but
Mhm.
can I slow down enough to record something that's interesting and helpful? Right? That's
Yeah.
the wrinkle I'm playing with.
So I wouldn't mention him by name, but we know somebody who had a show, and he's talked off camera about, because of this show, I've lost money on deals because the deal had to meet the timeline of the show.
Oh yeah.
So, but that was a televised,
Yeah.
edited, right? There's a lot bigger thing there than you having the control of how this is going to go. So I don't think you'll have to run into that
No,
problem.
let me just be very clear. I won't do negative cash flow. Did you guys not read the book? There's this thing called no alligators. I won't. That's rule number one. So, but I don't. But I understand I am not tied to a TV production schedule. You're absolutely right.
I'm very interested to see what the asset is and where, because I look at those condo towels. I think they're quite compelling. I think
don't
that
know.
I looked like,
Maybe.
so I looked at them in the Palms and in Trump Towers.
Yep.
And they're very interesting. They're very interesting how they do it. It's basically like you can't update, change, do anything to the unit.
Mm.
I couldn't touch it, but there was the opportunity to basically buy into it. And then your rate is the same rate as the other rates of the other rooms, but you get like, I think it's like half or something like
I
that.
think it's 50%.
It's
But
usually
again, these are
it
all things I'll
depends.
figure
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it depends on which one you go with. But I think that what I love about Vegas is that it offers a bunch of things that aren't in any of our markets. Like condo
Yeah,
towels aren't in any of our markets.
no, it's
You know,
brand new learning.
tiny homes out there, the price of dirt is non-existent. It is
Oh yeah,
almost
you
nothing.
go out far. That again, I'm just going to put this out there. I really
Yeah.
hope my conversation with Lisa, she tells, because she's wired in, right? And she comes back and goes, you know what? So and so, maybe it's Lennar, maybe it's some local builder, has just bought a 20-acre blah blah blah, and
Mhm.
they're going to build homes at 1,000 square feet. I'm like, take me there now, right?
Yeah.
Right. I hope, fingers crossed, that something like that happens.
Mike, I'll come out there with my 3D printing machine and we'll
There,
print up a bunch of homes.
there you go. There you go. Let's do it. Yeah, it's again, I always have to have a North Star. My goal of buying Vegas is to show everybody it's possible and what doing the work looks like.
Sure.
Like I always do with the course. I promise no one, including myself, that will buy something, but I will know what an average deal is. Right. And then it just becomes, doing the work after that. So I don't know. It's every time I talk about it, I just get this freaking gut like, shut up and go record it. Okay, Michael, I'm recording Monday. Get over myself. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
So you have more experience than I do. You have a larger portfolio, but in every metric possible, I think you're more successful than I am. And so when I give you advice, I hope you just take it as outsider's viewpoint.
Yeah, but you are better than me at lots and lots of things. So fire away.
So I like the idea of saying, okay, I wonder if tiny homes perform well in Vegas. But I think when you approach Vegas, I would hope you have that mindset of, what is the tiny home of Vegas?
Correct.
Right. Kind of like that Derek, that ADU guy, talks about. With an ADU, it's not often the biggest is the best, because the biggest might have a higher cost basis
Yep.
than what the rents are going to generate a return on. So
Agreed.
a smaller one might make sense. If you get there, it might be that the tiny home is a working class house with a pool because of
Maybe.
XYZ that we haven't thought of yet, right? So,
Yep.
and I've used that analogy before, where a police officer can't show up on the scene and go, here's what I think happened, let me find the evidence to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you look at the evidence, you make an opinion, and then your opinion is malleable based on new evidence.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be tiny homes. I think because of the desert layout, the nature of the transitory income, because there's a town where I invest, and the daytime population is less than 20,000, or the nighttime population is less than 20,000. The daytime is over 140,000. because it's where
Yeah.
the state capital, LNI, DSHS, all of the state employees basically work. And so you have to understand what kind of house would work there. It's completely different than 10 miles away. I've got that tiny little town with less than 500 population, the whole town, day and night. I have no idea what it is for Vegas. I'm actually excited to watch what you produce because it's going to reveal that. It's going to say, here's what an educated, trained mind finds in a market, and then the strategy that matches it.
Yeah. The other thing that I want to make very clear in this is Olivia and I are not going to be building a portfolio of 100. I want to get to my whole get to 4, right? I think 4 changes our life. So again, I'm going to stay on brand, do the work, focus, meet new 2 people a week, look at Vegas offers new opportunities, which we'll get educated on. And then, best case, we get to 4. I have no interest in, going more than that. I mean, that's not where my head's at. I just want to show people it's possible today. I want to show what doing the work looks like, networking, doing the math. It's just, I don't know why.
Would
I
you
don't know why.
build?
If that's the answer, I mean, I'm not to kind of, yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, if that's the right answer and that's where the cash flow is, that's all stuff we're going to learn.
3D
right?
printing, baby. 3D printing in the concrete.
Yeah.
Concrete,
If that's the answer,
that's what I think that's just going to explode there because they continue to have population growth and tiny homes. Hate to tell you, Richie Riches, it's not 1,000 square feet. Crazy men. It's like 500.
Well, San Antonio's 661. And again, by tiny homes, I want to be clear. You're right. I mean, if you go by the definition, it's sub 750. But I want to talk about tiny homes for the area.
Yeah. Understood.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So tiny homes,
like when we were in West Vegas, right? When we were or North Vegas, we were in North Vegas. Every single house there was a 3-bed, 1 bath. And then the only conversation was, did they extend it and make it a 5-bed with another bath? Right. That was really the neighborhood.
That was the old footprint. Yeah. That was the old neighborhood.
Yeah. That's what, when Ash and I were driving around,
what were those homes worth? I've never looked at North Fresno.
Oh my word. They were absurdly priced now. I see why that's going to be ground zero for the next correction. It's like 4 to 450.
Oh, okay.
4 to 450. And 2-3 years ago, they were 2 to 250.
Yeah.
And Mike, now the crazy thing is, 98% of the Airbnbs in Vegas are illegal. 98%. Only like 300 or 400 people even have licenses. But I just did the quick math. Like, our guy was the one that Money and Mike found. He was renting out at basically $300 a night, and he was occupied between 28 and 30 nights a month.
Oh, geez. Oh,
he was full occupancy. So he was $9,000 a month on debt that was probably 3 or 4.
Oh, he's doing fine. Yeah.
He's printing. The issue is, when they take that ability to do that away, those are the type of assets that are going to hit the market. That's where you're going to see a big price correction.
Yeah.
Right. So that's
because that's on a traditional rental, that's probably $2,000, 2,200.
Oh my word. If you're, I mean, I'd be Dion. I don't know. You tell me. I'd be surprised if anyone was able to afford $2,200 for rent in that neighborhood.
So yes and no. So in that neighborhood, I think average rent is going to be 1,800 to 2,200.
Yep.
Okay.
But the size of that specific house would have been, I think Section 8 would have said, hey, there's 6 bedrooms in here. We're going to go X dollars on just even the voucher.
Yeah.
Agree with that. So I think, but the big change out there, Mike, that we don't have, I don't have in my market, you don't have, I think, in Fresno. And I know Dion doesn't have it, is land price.
Yeah. It's a little bit like Texas. Yeah.
It's exactly. If they'll give you density, right? This is where the model that I've tried to make work here doesn't work. I can't get density. And if I can't get density, then the small homes don't work. The tiny homes don't work. And so if you can get density, like, there are trailer parks out there.
Sure.
Would they let you put a 20-pad development in at the end of some neighborhood?
Maybe.
This
is what I hope happens, right? Again, we go out there where we help people with, learn that they can do it themselves. But let's be clear. One of the things that I hope happen, I think I said this earlier, is I want some deal flow.
Yeah.
I'm hoping by networking and meeting more and more exciting people in Vegas, we get those opportunities. Yes, I would gladly buy a 3-2 that cash flows just to prove it's possible. But maybe the answer is I find someone out there that's doing a bigger development and we're a part of that somehow, some way.
Yes.
I don't know,
Yes.
right? I'm open to any and all opportunities to show that doing the work, networking, can lead to something amazing. I'm open to any and everything.
What it's going to show, Mike, and this is the thing that's going to be the most valuable. What it's going to show is I would put all of my chips to the center of the table that you will find something that properly cash flows. And right now you have no idea what that asset is.
I have no idea what it is.
And so people go into their markets with this predisposition that they want to rent out the house that they would live in. Nope. That might not work in your market. And so I'm really excited for people to see that you're going to this one, no, this one, no, this one, maybe, this one, no, this one, maybe, this one. Holy cow, this was twice 2x the return that I get on any other asset in this market. That's what this market needs in this area. And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah,
that's going to be the game changer.
That's what I hope comes across. Again, it's doing the work, it's episode, it's poking, it's because the whole intention here is I eventually want to get to a buy box. But the problem is just like back in Fresno, it took me time to figure it out.
Yeah.
I had to go meet different people. I never lived in Fresno. I have no idea where to buy. I can tell you my buy box now, but it took 100 days to figure it out.
Absolutely.
So that's the thing.
I think that'll go a bit faster this time. So I have a challenge for people who've made it 30 plus minutes into the video. And maybe Matt and I will make an off-camera bet. Your goal, Mike, is to get to 4 to stay on brand. I totally understand that. In the comments below, let me know that by December 2024, how many properties do you think Michael Zuber will own in Nevada?
December 2024?
Yes.
I think he gets to 4 and then he can't help himself and he builds it.
That's exactly it. I mean,
he'll be like, I figured it out, and this is what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to be laughing at him, going, "Hey, retired guy."
Mike is going to find something that cash flows.
Yes, he is,
and then the addiction will kick in.
Yes, he will.
Don't tell Olivia.
It's so true. Right. He gateway drugged her. It's awesome.
That's right.
No, we're just going to do a couple.
It's only
just to prove out the course. That's all we're doing.
We're going to help people.
Yeah. She's probably sitting there going, Michael, we proved out the course. We did it the last.
Yeah, we're done now. Why do we got 12 of these things?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you guys are terrible.
Yeah,
you're also amazing. You're also amazing. Well, we'll stop this one here. I want to record something else together. But before we do, Matt, how can they find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and Instagram. And I'm supposed to be getting my permits for the jail next week. So I'll be excited to finally get going. I told the city it's going to take me less time to build it than it did for me to get permits. So excited about that, but yeah, Lumberjack Landlord, Instagram and YouTube, same place.
There you go. Dion?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom, where I do my live streams every Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific and talk about things like today, why an investor is always broke.
Oh, I like that.